How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name's Ashley, and I know what you're thinking. Is he feeling all right? He's done 2 videos in a week. I know, I'm amazed myself, but I'm trying to get something a little bit more regular going out and something a bit more beneficial to you guys. So here I am. And if you haven't already guessed by the title of the video, I had a young man ask me on my Discord channel. Link in the description below if you want to join that. Great place to be, by the way. He asked me how he might become more creative and create more out there and conceptual ideas. At the moment, he's working solely and pretty much primarily on automotive stuff, so your hatchbacks, supercars, sports cars, those sorts of things. And he really wants to stretch himself and try and push himself out there. Now, as you know, I'm definitely no conceptual designer. I like to branch out here and there. I'm currently working on a Sparrow design for Destiny 2, just because, and it's always good to try and branch out and work on something different. So then you might be able to bring that sort of that fresh idea or that knowledge, whatever you learn in that little project, into probably more your everyday sort of work. But there are still a few methods I like to adopt and use when creating a new project, or just generally trying to draw something every single day. It's hard to keep fresh. So I'm going to walk you through just a handful of my methods that I use to stay creative. So the first thing we're going to look at are books. I know what you're thinking before you say anything. Ash, you can't read. I know I can't read. That's why they're picture books. Now, these are obviously concept art books. These are a massive source of pride for me. I really love and cherish my concept art books. I have nowhere near as many as I would like, given the space obviously taken up by this crap. But concept art books for me are a massive must if you're really trying to branch out your ideas. And if you're like me, someone who struggles to be really forward thinking and extremely radical in their thoughts, having books like Project 7, Electric State and concept books from video games really beneficial. We'll start with Project 77, really quick blow through. I found this on ArtStation. I'll get into that as a bit later, but that's a great website. And just like all of these books, they are just concept art books and they just depict scenery, character design, transport design, really out there wacky ideas. Now, this book I really enjoyed to look at for ideas when I'm trying to be a bit more creative and out there, really forward thinking again, with some of my projects and my individual pieces, something that, you know, hopefully isn't as generic as probably I typically create. And to be honest, I actually love looking at this book for drawing styles and rendering methods, rendering techniques. Obviously it's very artistic and painty, but there are definitely styles and methods that, you know, you'll definitely be able to appropriate and use in your own work. So that's definitely one thing you can take away from these sorts of books. The next one, written by Simon Stellenhagen, I have a couple of 3 of his books actually, are phenomenal. Now, this guy, if you haven't read any of his books, I highly recommend it. Electric State, if you're going to read any, it's just the one to get. It is the first book that I've read cover to cover within a week. Everything else has usually taken me months. It helps that half of the pages were actually pictures. So, but you know, like I said, dyslexic. But this guy is phenomenal. I absolutely love his artwork. Again, his style is really inspirational. But the reason I really appreciate this guy and what he does is his outlook and thought about potential future worlds, what the world might turn into and what it might become with future scenarios. It's not quite doomsday-esque, but they are extreme, radical, kind of desperate time scenarios. And granted, things aren't quite going there just yet, but nevertheless it's quite a nice position to put yourself in order to create perhaps a product or a project that may be beneficial to some. And if you're using the inspiration of his storytelling, or anyone's storytelling, for example, when it comes to futuristic and sci-fi books, it can be a nice place to start when trying to think about, what are other people thinking in terms of the future and what might it hold, and how can I perhaps work off of those in order to present a world like that happening through my projects. So, you know, that's how I use Simon Stellenhag. And like I said, the illustrations and even some of the concepts on some of the transport vehicles and actual buildings are just beautiful. So if there's anything that you take away from this video today, is you need to get this book. So this one links directly to pretty much what we've just spoke about with the books, and it's talking about video games and movies. We've obviously all going through a crap time at the moment, and video games and TV for myself is definitely an escape. But you try and make the most of it. You don't just necessarily want to waste your time playing video games all the time. You can feel guilty. I think I'm not alone there when you end up wasting 6 hours and you go, oh crap, I haven't done anything all day, and now I've got a project that I should be doing, and this, that, and the other. You start feeling guilty. But I think if you're playing video games, obviously you both enjoy, but also perhaps can spark something in terms of inspiration and ideas and thought and creativity for yourself, then you're a win-win. For me, the latest expansion of Destiny 2 was an absolute winner. It is the key source of inspiration that is driving the current project that you can't see behind you. I don't know why I pointed at it as if you could. Based on the aesthetic of the Exo Factory. For those of you who know, you'll understand. I'll try and get a couple of images up on the screen. But that for me, the whole minimalism, the aesthetic of everything, just really inspired me to push that that aesthetic forward into a project of mine and try and appropriate it into almost companies and themes of today, trying to appropriate what we're going through. But using the aesthetic of that, and you can take that for any game, again, depending on what vehicle it is that you want to create, or what purpose you're and what problem you're trying to overcome in terms of your design. Because obviously ultimately we're always trying to create or solve a problem, shall I say, not create a problem, solve a problem. The aesthetic of whatever it is that you're watching or playing can really help push that problem solving forward. So that's something that definitely is worth paying attention when you're playing your video games. Okay, so the last thing we're going to be looking at are the websites that I use for this particular sort of research, I guess. If we're talking creative designs and really conceptual out there ideas, we have to start with ArtStation. The others that I use, probably nothing out of the ordinary. A lot of you will probably already use it, but if you don't know about ArtStation, it is fantastic. Again, it's a great platform with so much potential to use. You can get learning resources, online courses, jobs advertised here. You can buy shops from the artists on the website, which is brilliant. I'll definitely be looking into that. But ultimately, it's a case of there are so many different genres. Again, professionals and amateurs. On this website, which gives you a great diversity. When you're looking for things, you can pinpoint things that it is you're looking for. You can game art, concept art, and at the end of the day, there's a shit ton of weebs on here, so we absolutely love that sort of stuff. It is fantastic, and I love to browse this more so just as out of envy than anything else. It's just I love living in the brains of some of these people. So yeah, if you haven't checked out ArtStation, 100% worth the investment of the time to go through that. Now, the other ones that we're looking at, we have Pinterest. Nice and simple, straightforward. A lot of you probably already use this. If by chance none of you, or some of you, sorry, haven't started, or you've only just got a handful of boards and inspiration, you're struggling to find the time perhaps to build up a large back catalogue of mood boards, feel free to follow me, Ashley Niall, same as on everything. But I have about 9 years worth of collections here, hundreds and hundreds of pages, thousands of posts. Again, that I've collected all the way back from from high school in my art days at college. So there's a massive variety of things here that will hopefully spark some good inspiration in you. You've then got Behance. Really nice and simple. You've got a great platform to promote yourself, showing your portfolios and all your other work, your general standard renders that you might have done. But you've also just got the ability to browse, again, amateurs and professionals, portfolios from photographers, graphic designers, website designers. And I think it's really important that you try and branch out and look at every sort of design, because you never know what you can find. Especially if you're very creatively inclined and design inclined, you will always see something that that will be beneficial to you, some great ideas. And again, the ability to create mood boards and appreciation boards is fantastic. So, you can always go back to your favorites. We've also got something that I also recently discovered and still have yet to sign up for, but we'll definitely be doing it after this. It seems to work very similarly to Pinterest, but a lot less advertisements, which I think is really hindering Pinterest at the moment. Again, works exactly the same. Search what it is that you want: concept design, game design, car design, you name it, you'll find it. And once again, this will be a great way to just kind of consolidate everything into one area. So, with all that said, I hope you found that of use. I know I always blab on. I always try to do these things a couple of minutes long and they end up going on for like 10, 15 minutes. So I apologise for that. I ramble a lot. So you can tell me to shut up or just switch off at any point. Probably half of you probably already have, looking at the analytics. But nevertheless, I hope some of you found that interesting. Like I said, feel free to hit me up. Follow the links down in the description below: my Discord, my website, my Instagram, my Pinterest, all those things to help you out. And yeah, hit me up if you need me, but I'll see you in the next video. Bye.